So then it is time to predict the League One playoff semi-final first legs. Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video. As I say, today we're taking a deep dive into the League One playoffs. We did do a preview to the playoffs yesterday, so check that video out. Today we're going to start predicting them, starting with two crucial first legs. Of course, in this video there's only two games to predict, so it's a pretty short video. Share your predictions down below. I'm always interested to see what you guys have to say. If I haven't backed your team to win, don't be upset, just let me know your thoughts down below. We'll see who's right at the end of the weekend, and I don't mind being wrong. A lot of the time I am wrong, but it's always fun to do. Before we get into the predictions themselves, guys, just quickly make sure to drop a like. If you like your EFL content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. We'll go for 750 likes. It's free to like, so why wouldn't you do that? And if you're new around here or haven't already subscribed yet, make sure to do so. It's free to subscribe. Click that subscribe button and you'll see all of our videos. With all of that said, let's get predicting the playoff semi-final first leg, starting at Oakwell. We have Barnsley versus Bolton Wanderers, a rematch of the playoff semi-finals from last season, which Barnsley did win overall, but they didn't win the playoffs overall. Of course, they lost to Sheffield Wednesday. They were close games last season, and between these two, there's been some close games this season. In the playoffs last year, it was a 1-1 draw at Bolton. They were the home team for the first game because they finished lower than Barnsley. Barnsley did win 1-0 in the second leg, but this time around, Bolton have finished higher than Barnsley, so the first game is at Oakwell. In the league this season, we've seen a 1-1 draw at Bolton, and at Oakwell, it was a 2-2 draw. We've spoken very highly about these two teams this season, in particular Bolton Wanderers. They've had a really good season. They challenged for the top two right until the final day, and they've just come up short. And as we said yesterday, they come into the League One playoffs as overwhelming favourites with the bookmakers. And I can see that, I can understand that. They have had a good season. They have finished the highest out of these four teams overall. And maybe there is that added pressure that Bolton have now got to go on and deliver. They are a big club for this level, and they'll fancy themselves. But Barnsley, as we've said before, are a tricky customer, and although they ended the season in not the best form per se, they're still a team in a one-off game that can knock you out. That said, it is actually over two games, and Bolton will hope their quality rises to the top over the two games here. So let's have a little look at the homes and aways. Barnsley have actually only been the 12th best home team in League One this season. They've been a bit better away really than they have been at home. Meanwhile, Bolton 5th in the away table. Although they finished 3rd overall, they've been the 5th best away team. Barnsley come into this game with no wins in the last 6. They were close to getting that 1-0 win against Northampton over the line on the final day. That finished as a 1-1 draw. And then there was a pitch invasion afterwards, which a few people have had raised eyebrows about, but I don't mind personally. They've made the playoffs. They've got a chance of going up. It's no wins in 6 at Oakwell though. They've struggled to win at Oakwell recently, and will Bolton take advantage of that? Now, Bolton come into this unbeaten in 7 games, but with only 1 win in their last 8 away games, which is quite the contrast there. So Bolton have been pretty strong at home recently, maybe not so much away from home. I suppose you could say they let the lead slip against Peterborough. You can maybe put that down to the fact that they knew Derby were winning in the other game. It is what it is. Looking ahead to this game then, the danger men, as we said before, Devante Cole for Barnsley, Dion Charles for Bolton. Will those two pop up with some goals across the two games? If I'm being honest, I make Bolton slight favourites to get through to Wembley here, but I think there could be a little bit of nervous energy in this game, and both sides will be a bit cautious, not want to lose. I can see it going either way, but I'm actually going to go for a 1-1 draw. That's my prediction on this one, which would probably suit Bolton better, but they'll probably think they can still win the away game anyway. For Barnsley, they've struggled at Oakwell recently. I'm sure it'll be a good atmosphere for this one. You know, it's a massive opportunity for them to get promoted themselves. But as long as they don't lose, they've got a chance going into the second leg, which is always great against, you know, a team that's considered the favourites to win the playoffs. And as for Bolton, if they can go back to their home ground without any disadvantage, that would be crucial. So it might satisfy some fans might not be satisfied with it, but I'm going for a 1-1 draw in this game. Share your thoughts. On to the next one then, and we have Oxford United versus Peterborough United, and it's another interesting matchup. Oxford, of course, finished in 5th. They got over the line on the final day. The interesting thing with Oxford is they were in the playoffs before they played Stevenage. They drew that game and came out of the playoffs, and then had to win on the final day against Exeter away from home to get back into the playoffs, but they did get the job done, thanks to Lincoln City also dropping points. And then because Barnsley dropped points right at the end, weekend, it propelled Oxford United up to 5th. Now, Peterborough United, their chances of making the top 2 fizzled out right at the end. They have had a good season. They have, of course, won the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. And yeah, I feel like they're very experienced in the sort of knockout matches. I mean, they were in the playoffs last year. It didn't go too well, of course, as we all know. They were 4-0 up at home from the first game and then lost 5-1 to Sheffield Wednesday and went out on penalties. What's quite interesting with Oxford United and Peterborough's games this season is they've both battered each other when they've been the home team. So Oxford smashed Peterborough 5-0 when they were at home. Peterborough smashed Oxford 3-0 when Peterborough were at home. So Oxford may be thinking with the home advantage, they've got to take some advantage from this game, get a win of some sorts. They are 8th in the home table for the season. Peterborough United, the 4th best away team in League One this year. As for form and some of the key numbers coming into this, Oxford United have only lost 1 of their last 8 league games, and they've scored the 3rd most goals at home this season, the 3rd most home goals with 44. So they've nearly averaged about 2 goals per home game. As for Peterborough United, there's some contrasting stats here. Only 2 clean sheets in the last 14 games, but they are the top scorers in the division with 89 goals in the league campaign. They've lost 2 of their last 3 away games though, and one of them was that 5-0 away defeat to Oxford earlier in April. Oh, it's an interesting one. Both got danger men. As we said, Mark Harris is Oxford United's top goal scorer. Peterborough United have Mason Clark. They also have quite a few different players that can chip in with goals in their attacking lines, and that's why they are the top scorers. So I think this game could be maybe a little bit more open than the Bolton Barnsley game. I do think that home advantage will be key in both games. I'll say both games because on this occasion, I'm going to say Oxford United 2, Peterborough 1. I think it'll be close, but I think both teams score. I think Peterborough have shown that they're very capable of scoring and conceding, of course. I think 2-1 obviously is good for Oxford. They take an advantage to Peterborough. But Peterborough are the kind of team that could definitely get right back into it back at their place. So although I'm going for Oxford United, things will pretty much still hang in the balance going back to Peterborough United's ground. But my final prediction here is Oxford United 2, Peterborough 1. Share your thoughts on that game down below. So then that wraps up my predictions for the first leg of the League One playoff semi-finals. We'll be back for the second legs and we'll see how right or wrong we were in the next video. Like I say, share your thoughts down below. I'm always interested to see your comments, especially if you support one of these 4 teams. I'd be really happy to see any of them get to the Championship. They all offer something different and unique, so that's great and something to look forward to. If you've enjoyed the video, please do make sure to drop a like. It's free to do, and as I say, we've got EFL content coming every couple of days. We've actually got a Premier League video coming later today. Make sure to subscribe as well if you haven't already. It's free to do that, and you can help us get to 64,000. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace out.